We're used to spending our money anyhow because we're not the ones feeding ourselves when we're staying with our parents. It is different, much different when you move out on your own. Okay, you don't save, you don't budget, you don't cut down your spending, you're going to starve. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dara. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Please join the family by clicking on that red subscribe button, okay? And then put on your notification bell just immediately after, so you're notified every single time I post a video. Trust me, you want to be one of the first people to know when I post a video. So guys, if you can notice, something is going on right behind me. I have like a new background or something of the sort going on tonight, and if you're an OG, then you should know why I have this background. Guys, I moved, and if you don't know that by now, I'm judging you. So you should really check out my last vlog here where I talked about moving. I did like a quick room tour, sort of. Probably an apartment tour might come up later because I'm not staying alone, but I mean, I moved alone, so like I'm basically still staying alone. Yeah, I moved away from family, and that brings us to today's topic. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about 5 things to know before moving out of your parents' house. So your parents could either be like your elder sibling, your guardian, anybody that is in that position, you know, of authority over you, and then you're thinking of moving out. There are 5 things that you should work towards doing, or at least to know on ground before you start making attempts to move out of your parents' or guardian's house. So guys, I recently just moved, like I said at the beginning of this video, and please check out that video. Please guys, watch the video guys, and let's share that video. Yeah, this is a new chapter starting for me, and I'm really so excited. Guys, I'm very excited because this means more content, more time to be able to do what it is that I want to do. So like, without too much talk or anything, I'm going to be just giving 5 helpful and practical tips for moving out of your parents' house. 5 tips, 5 things you should know rather before moving out of your parents or your guardian's house. The first thing to know when you are planning to move out of your parents or your guardian's house is to tell your parents or your guardian that you're moving out. Yeah, this seems like obvious or something, but trust me, I've heard stories like some people actually feel like it's better for them, you know, to move, sort of like maybe not move entirely, just to pay for the apartment or something before moving out. On my own part, I don't think that is actually cool. I think no matter how close it is to when you move, just make sure they know before you actually make payment for the apartment or before you move finally. So please tell your parents, tell your guardian that you're moving out of the house, so that they know, okay. Some of them might have questions, perhaps they might want to know, okay, why are you moving at this point in your life? Is something wrong? Is it because something is wrong? Or like, you know, just get an insight into why you're moving out basically, and then you can be able to share. Most times I know people move out because, you know, they want to like be on their own, they want to try out new things, they want to explore, and they want to start like a new chapter of their life, just like I'm doing. So it is much easier for you to be able to explain to them at that point that this is why I'm moving out, and this is when I'm moving out, and of course other questions as to how you're going to pay for your apartment or your room or something is going to come up. They are definitely going to want to ask you that, because then they are still your guardian, they're still your parents, so they care about you, they want to know, okay. And some of them are even asking because they want to know, can we help in any way? At least this is your first time going out to move on your own, can we help or anything? So like a lot of things can just come up from it. But then 2 major things that I'm going to point out from telling your parents that you're moving is that then they get to, you know, help you actually understand the reason why you're moving, because there should be a reason why. Whatever the reason is, if it's just because you need your privacy, you need space, you need more time to be able to do certain things, you need to, you know, explore, you need to, that is number 1 thing. They would most likely help you, you know, reiterate why it is that you're moving. Another reason why you should tell your parents or your guardian that you're moving is because they could come in handy easily. They could be like part of the process of helping you move out, probably drive you to your new apartment if it is like in close proximity to where you currently stay. You know, they could help you out with some cash, you know, even if you've paid your rent or something. There are other things that you will need, and you know, don't let me go too much because then I'm already bringing out some of the points of other things that I'm going to say. But the first thing, guys, make sure that you tell your parents or your guardian or whoever it is that you're staying with that you're moving out. Aside from every other thing I've said, even if they're your parents, they're your siblings, they're your sister, you're related by blood, courtesy still demands that you tell them. You don't just wake up one morning and say you're moving out. That basically doesn't make sense. The second thing to do, or the second thing to consider when you're planning to move out of your parents' house, is to have a stable source of income. I would put this in another way: to know your income, know like your monthly income, especially make it monthly, because then things will be easier for you, because you can be able to now project and budget towards your new living, like your new life. Because guys, trust me, living alone can be tough. It can be tough. Like, I'm still going to bring out some points. I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself and go into some of the points that I've made note of, like for this video. But then living alone can be really difficult if you don't try as much as possible to plan extensively for it. No matter how much you plan, there's still always something that comes up that like shakes you off your feet and makes you like wonder, am I doing the right thing? But then when you plan, it is more better, because then you've probably already even prepared for like unforeseen circumstances, so that way you're able to like tackle it and take it head on. So basically guys, you have to know your income. Are you working a 9 to 5? Are you into content creation? Are you, whatever it is that you're doing, the income from it, can it be sustainable or almost sustainable towards your new lifestyle, wherever it is that you're moving to? That is a very, 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 very important thing to consider when you're thinking or when you're moving out of your parents' house. Trust me guys, when you don't know your income, and maybe one way or another you're just lucky to be able to gather your first rent, there's this thing about responsibility. Once you pay a particular bill, a part of you is unconsciously, subconsciously, in the background, thinking of paying for that same bill for the next phase, or for the next season, for the next month, for the next quarter. And that is just the way it is with rent. I literally just moved in and I'm already thinking of, okay, you have to always remember at some point in time that you are going to pay next year's rent. Even if you have help the first time, it will be easy for you to collect the second year you go back to do that. Even if you're lucky and you can get that, it will almost not be possible. It will be almost impossible for you to be able to get that the third year. So you always have to consider your pocket. And even if you collect money for rent from home, it would still be somehow coming back to also ask for money to feed, money on a monthly basis and stuff like that. So you have to consider, okay, how am I going to feed? How am I going to eat? How am I going to do certain, basic needs? How am I going to meet up basically with, you might need to go out if you're working or if you're doing something, whatever it is. It will be easier for you to know, okay, this is where money is coming from, and then you'll be able to budget that money, project that money into what you need, your spendings for the month or for the week, depending on how you earn. And then it will also be easy for you to know, okay, what percentage of this am I saving when it comes to the next year or some other goal that you might just need to achieve along the way. But at this point, I would also like to chip this in, that when looking for a house, when you're looking for an apartment, when you're moving out of your parents' house, it is important to know that the total amount of your earnings annually, say for example you're earning 100,000 naira and that amounts to 1.2 million naira in a year, your rent should not be more than half of that. Meaning your rent should not be more than 600,000 naira, because then that makes a lot of sense. It's easier for you to be able to save. Because if your rent is like maybe close to 1 million naira, for example, and you're earning 1.2 million naira annually, it's going to be really tough. Like you won't be able to meet up. It's just as basic as that, because you have to live, you have to feed yourself, you have to get certain things. Now you're going to be thinking of, okay, how can you manage this particular thing and not waste things? So you definitely have to spend money on other things, and as such it is not going to make sense if your rent is like ridiculously like expensive and half of your annual earnings cannot cover your rent. So please know that, okay? And that's already like 3 points, but I'll still call it 2 because I dipped that one under the know your income points. These are practical points, by the way, guys. These are things that I've put into consideration. Some of them are like not entirely finest, I'm still working on it. But then the next thing that you should note when you're moving out of your parents or your guardian's house is to start budgeting and cut down on your spending. So we've already talked about, you have to know your income. You also have to put into consideration that your rent annually should not be more than half of your annual earnings. So now it is time for you now to think about budgeting towards your rent, the first rent at least. You have to think about that. You have to cut down on your spending, so doing, because trust me, when you're staying with your parents or your guardian or wherever it is, because they most likely are the ones feeding you And as such, even if you're going to be like buying things to eat, or if you're going to be, you know, doing things here and there, it wouldn't be as though you're living entirely on your own. So it is easier for us to always spend money, because I remember that it's easier for you to, you know, get your salary or get a pay from a job or something, and then spend like the chunk of it on designer things or on hair, on shoes and bags and stuff. Trust me, I know it. But now that you're going to be, you know, you have plans to move out of your parents' house, to go into your own apartment, to live alone, it is important that you start budgeting towards that. So make sure you at least, depending on where you stay, well, in Nigeria we pay rent annually mostly. I think there are some applications in Nigeria that help you to, you know, pay your rent monthly. But then because of how Nigeria is, things are tough. It's just better for you to pay that 1 year, so you don't have to stress yourself about anything that 1 year, and you can work towards, you know, saving up for other things as well as next year's rent. So basically, when you start budgeting for your rent, make sure that you have at least 6 months to a year's rent. Depending on, you know, where you want to live, you have to think about budgeting enough money that will cover your rent for at least a reasonable period of time, at most a year, but minimum I think 3 months. Okay, and another thing is that when you cut down on your spending, then you'll be able to, you know, get used to, okay, how to do things minimally, you know, because we're used to spending our money anyhow, because we're not the ones feeding ourselves when we're staying with our parents or our guardian. It is different, much different when you move out on your own. Okay, you don't save, you don't budget, you don't cut down your spending, you're going to starve. And since you don't want to starve, it just makes sense that you know, cut down on your budget. So the next thing that I'm going to be sharing with you about moving out of your parents' house is to know if you are moving out alone or if you're moving out with a friend. So now I'm going to give a quick example of this. When I was moving out initially, or when I had plans initially, when I started to think about moving out, I and like a couple of my friends were thinking, okay, let's do, so there's this thing we do in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria, we do shared apartment, meaning if an entire house is say 3 million naira and it's a 3-bedroom apartment, I and my friends can come together, I and 2 other of my friends can come together to, you know, pay together, then split the money. So that way I don't have to live with strangers, because there are some situations where you can pay for just your room, your space, but then you have to live with other people, and as such you might not really like it. Okay, so in this particular situation, it just makes sense if you consider, okay, do I want to stay alone or do I want to stay with my friends? Also, staying with your friends might help you cut costs when it comes to other things, such as, you know, maybe cooking together, buying groceries together, you know, just splitting bills, basically electricity bills and all of that is always easier if you relate with your friends and stuff like that. But if you're the kind of person that wants like your total privacy, the only way you want to see your friends around you or in your new environment or your new apartment is if they come visiting, then that's also fine. But that means you also have to know that you're probably going to be spending more than if you were to, like, you know, do a shared apartment. But you really need to consider that. You need to think, okay, are there reliable friends, are there trustworthy friends, are there friends that are the same vibe as myself that I can just stay with initially, at least maybe for the first year, you know, just stay together. You guys can, you know, get to know each other, you guys can get to explore and do things together. So that is also a very important point to consider when moving out. The last point that I'm going to talk about when you're thinking or planning of moving out of your parents' house is to do a scale of preference when it comes to the things you need for your apartment. So now you've ticked the boxes of telling your parents that you're moving out, you already have a stable source of income, you know, you already know, okay, how much you're budgeting towards your rent, you've cut down on your spending, you already also considered, are you staying alone, are you staying with a friend, you know, all of the other things that I've mentioned. Now it's time for you, most likely now you've rented the apartment or you're about to pay, it's time for you to think about, you know, you're going to definitely get things. That is why I said saving initially the first year, if your rent is 600, just save like 700k, so that 100,000 naira can be used, you know, for the little things around. Are you getting a bed? You're definitely not going to sleep on the floor. So are you getting a bed? That's if you don't already have one. Maybe it's a mirror, like we're ladies, I mean, we can't do without that. A mirror. Are you getting, you know, bed sheets, a duvet or a blanket, pillows? Are you getting a table or a chair? Just do a scale of preference according to what you would need the most. So if you know, okay, table and chair can still wait, that can always wait. If you know, okay, where you're going to, the area there is like sort of warm or humid or hot, perhaps you know that okay, you have to budget to get a fan, say maybe a normal fan or a rechargeable fan, also depending on the light situation in that area. It would not make sense if you live like okay, you've not gotten your bed, you've not gotten like the basic things, and then you go and get the AC. You're not going to sleep on the floor, and you don't even have a duvet to cover yourself. Cold is going to what? Cold is going to kill you. Okay, so basically you have to do a scale of preference of the things that are most important to you initially when you move. I know that most people, the first thing that will be on their list, if they didn't already have that, is a bed. You need a bed to sleep on. A bed can literally function as a lot of things. You can read on your bed, you can sleep on your bed, you can watch movies on your bed. You know, you can use your bed for like a lot of things, but you need your bed because you're definitely going to have to sleep and wake up okay. All right, so you know, just do a scale of preference. What do you want? You want buckets, maybe in your, if you don't have a shower or something, brooms, you know, just to at least keep your room clean, mopping stick, a fan like I already mentioned. You want a mirror, you know, all those things. If your room doesn't come with like furniture such as wardrobe, do you have enough money to get that? If not, what can you still do? You know, just literally do a scale of preference, do a list. You know, you can rewrite that. I started writing my list, like I started projecting it. It was almost a thing of faith. I started projecting my list, you know, way before I even like ended up renting where I am staying right now. So but I wrote that list, and some of the times when I see other people that are moving already do things, and you know, I watch a lot of moving out vlogs on YouTube. I then, you know, go back to my list, I look at it and I'm like, okay, this thing is not realistic. I need to, you know, switch it up and change it. So like I asterisk the ones that are not so important. You know, I just put it in order of, you know, preference, and I think so far I've been doing good, and I know the next thing to get and the next thing to get, and gradually I can just build up from there, and you know, everywhere is looking put together, cool and everything. So yeah, guys, basically that is it for this particular video. Please let us know if you're moved or you're about to move, or you know, maybe you're our senior in this whole moving thing. You've moved out for a while, you're staying on your own. What were some of the things that you had to consider or put in place before moving out of your parents or your guardian's house? Please do share in the comment section. I'm sure that people would love to read, because a lot of people are really planning to move out, because you know, we need the space, especially in this world of content creation. A lot of people are delving into content creation, into working from home, and as such we need our space to be able to do what we need to do without, you know, having to worry about disturbances, so to say. So guys, please do share in the comment section if you have any points as to the things to consider before moving out of your parents or your guardian's house. Also let me know if you enjoyed this video. I might, you know, just try to do like more vlogs like this, more sit down videos where I just tell you, okay, my process of moving and everything. Of course, I've been vlogging to show you guys the process of the things I've been getting for my apartments, the things I've been doing, how living alone has been going so far, and obviously gradually, and I know in a couple of months or thereabouts I should be able to do like a room tour officially. So guys, yeah, that is it for this video. Please do let me know anything at all in the comment section. I'll be sure to read through comments. I'm sure that your comments can also help other people. Please don't just do it for me, do it because you know you can help other people as well. Guys, please don't forget to give this video a very big thumbs up. Liking my videos really help me, and we need to grow. I'm not happy with our growth, guys. I'm not happy with our growth. So guys, in case you people don't know, getting this apartment is sort of an investment, part of the investment into my YouTube channel. So you guys should hear this now and come through for your girl. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe now, join the family. Stop being one of those people that are watching my videos and have not subscribed. Why are you watching without subscribing and you come back to watch? Just subscribe already, because you love what you see. I know you love what you see. Okay, and I'll see you in my next video by the special grace of God. Remain cool, remain calm, and I love you guys so much. Thank you. Bye.